All right. Welcome back, class. Today, we are going to talk about soil. What is soil and the importance of it? And also, we're going to talk about the different types of soil. So, before we get started, I need you all to put in the chat box one thing that you are grateful for and one thing that you are looking forward to doing before this beautiful break that's coming up. So I'll give you like 7 seconds to do that. And while you're doing that, I'll say one thing I'm grateful for is the ability to have resources that are able to keep me in good health, and also to have a really good support system, and also just the ability to go outside and get fresh air, right? That's one thing to be really grateful for. So make sure you put it in the chat box. Fill up the chat box with gratitude. That's the attitude. And we are going to move into what is soil. So as you can see on the screen, soil is made up of small pieces of broken rock and decaying plants, which are also called organic matter, right? So soil is that thin layer that covers the Earth's surface, and it's formed from rocks being weathered by the elements. So what's mainly made up of soil is minerals, which are so necessary. We need minerals in our body. Our body is made up from 102 to 107 minerals. That's how much minerals our bodies are made up of, and that's the minerals that our bodies need to continue to function. So if you eat certain foods and you're still hungry, it's because your body is literally searching through the food that you ate for the minerals, right? So in addition to that, minerals and organic matter or materials, which are the plants and the broken down rocks. The last things that soil is made up of is the air, the water, and living organisms. So the living creatures like the bugs and the beetles and things like that, those are the things that are made up within the soil. So now we are going to move on to a visual of what it looks like, right? So here is a write-up of some of the things that are able to be inside of the soil. There's a bunch of different things. There's a bunch of different things that make up the soil, and they are visible right here. So we have the organisms, we have the elements, and we have the minerals. And this is the function of soil, right? And the ecosystem and what it does and why it's needed. So boom, climate regulation affects the soil, the nutrient cycle, when the animals create manure or when they use the bathroom, right? It's also a habitat or a home for living things. It helps for flood regulation. So it helps in order to allow for a space to not be flooded, which it protects areas so that it allows for it to be protected from excess water, right? If there's a lot of soil there, then the water won't so easily be able to get into that area and flood it, right? There's a lot of resources inside of the soil, a lot of minerals, and also soil is used to build things. And we're going to dig deeper into that because there are a lot of interesting things that can be made from the soil. So we're going to watch this quick video really quickly just so that you'll have a taste of some of the functions of the soil, and then we're going to dig a lot deeper into it. So here we go.
Unless you spend a lot of time underground like we do, you might not think very often about dirt. But dirt is awesome. It's everywhere, and just about every living thing on Earth depends on it, from the plants that grow in it, to the animals that eat the plants, to the animals that eat those animals. That's why we're really glad that one of our viewers, 4-year-old Caleb from Mississippi, wrote to ask us, what is dirt? Great question. First of all, the stuff that fills our flower pots and baseball fields may just be dirt to us, but scientists have a different name for it. They call the top layer that covers most of the land soil. So what is soil? Well, it's a mixture of things. How soil looks and feels depends on where you are. So some very dry places have a lot of gritty sand in the soil, while soil in other parts of the world might have hard rocks, soft clay, or even pieces of seashell in it. Usually, though, soil is made of 4 main things. Mostly, soil is made up of minerals. Minerals are hard, stony substances that form things like rocks, sand, and clay. The next big part of soil is water. That's right, even if a clump of dirt doesn't seem like mud to you, it actually has water in it. All living things need water to survive, and soil does a great job of holding on to water for plants, animals, and other things that live in it. And you know what else is in the soil that you probably can't tell is there? Air. Just like water, air in the soil is important because living things need air too. It fills the spaces between all those little bits of minerals, water, and other parts of the soil. And the beauty of it is, the animals that live in the soil actually help more water and air get inside it. Creatures like worms and insects and even small mammals like moles and mice dig tunnels down in the dirt. Those tunnels let air and water trickle in and flow around so that even deep down, the soil has what living things need to make a nice home there. And this, my friends, brings us to probably the most important part of soil. In fact, it's some of the most important stuff on Earth. Scientists call it organic matter. Organic matter includes anything that's alive, like those worms and insects, but also parts of plants and even living things that we can't even see, like bacteria. Plus, organic matter also includes things that used to be alive, like dead plants and animals. After those things die, other living things like fungi, bacteria, insects, and worms eat what's left of those plants and animals and break them down into very small pieces. This broken down material puts nutrients back into the soil, and plants then use those nutrients to grow. So soil is where plants get their food. Scientists call this special nutrient-rich part of the soil by its own name, humus. Humus is what gives soil its dark brown color, and it even sometimes contains special bacteria that make soil smell, well, dirty. Now, all of these things are mixed together to make soil, but the mixture isn't always the same. Scientists have found that soil has many layers to it. The top layer is all made up of organic matter, with lots of that good, useful humus. Beneath that is the layer that we often call topsoil. Topsoil is made mostly of humus, with a little bit of minerals sprinkled in. This layer is where seeds start to grow. As you go further down away from the surface, you find that the deeper layers of soil contain more minerals than humus. And once you get through the bottom layer, you run into a layer of solid rock. So now you have the dirt on soil, and you know it's made up of minerals, water, air, and organic matter. Thank you for asking, Caleb. Does anybody else have a question? Let us know by either leaving a comment or emailing us at kids@thescishow.com. Thanks, guys, and see you next time on SciShow Kids.
All right. So, organic matter, water, right? Air, right? These types of things are used and needed in order to form soil. So let's dig into a better breakdown of different types of soil. This woman is going to show you the 3 different types that she's aware of, which are the silt, right, the clay, and then one other, sand, which I didn't even know was a type of soil, but it is. So we're going to talk about those 3, and then we're going to dig deeper into two more different types of soil that are able to help enhance the environment for those plants to grow.
Welcome to Miss Ma Kids Zone. On our last lesson, we discussed about different colors of soil. But today we want to discuss about different types of soil. We have got these different types of soils that we are going to discuss, and we want to find out the uses of this soil. So stay tuned. Last time we discussed about different colors of soil. So today we are going to discuss different types of soil. We have got what we call the loam soil, The loam soil, it includes the sand, the manure, and also the clay soil to make the loam soil. Then we have the sand soil. For us to know that this is the sand soil, the grains are a little bit bigger. And then we have the clay soil. The clay soil is sticky for you to know that this is the clay soil. So the loam soil is good for farming. The sand soil is good for building houses and other things. And the clay soil, we can do a little bit of farming, but it's also good for molding. We can mold bricks. We can also mold clay pots. So in our today's lesson, we are going to mold a clay pot. For you to make the clay pot, you should make sure that the soil does not have much water. And then you make a ball using the soil. After making the ball, you press your thumb inside the ball. We want to make our nice clay pot. So caregivers, assist your children to find the correct clay so that they can mold their own clay pots. They will be using their thumb to make sure that they produce a nice clay pot. So after making the clay pot, they should put it outside so that they can dry it. To older people, they can bend this so that later on you can use it for cooking different things. This is the end of our lesson. Please like our video.
All right. 3 types, right? Sand, silt, and clay. So the breakdown of sand would be that sand has large rocks that oftentimes don't stick together, right? So sand, as you remember, like when you go to the beach, it may stick together a little bit, but eventually it's going to break apart because sand does not have the ability to hold water. It's very coarse and loose, and water runs right through it, right? So as a result of that, sand is not the best type of soil to grow plants in because it doesn't hold water, and as a result, it's not able to really hold the nutrients to grow them in, okay? So that's pretty straightforward and transparent. Then we have silt. Silt has bigger rocks than the sand, and it holds some types of water, right? But it's also not the best type of soil to grow plants in because it's kind of similar to like a mud, right? It's kind of muddy. And it's that, you know, that brown stuff that's usually near water or rivers? That's what silt is. Like that top coat where you're like, is that water or is that dirt? Because there's water right next to it. What that's called is silt. And water drains through it very slowly. And then we have clay, which clay has the smallest amount of rock materials or particles inside of it, and it holds water very well. But it's also not the best type of soil for the plants to grow in because clay sticks together, right? And clay, when you add water in it, it gets really hard. So that's where it's used to build buildings or pots, things like that. That's what the clay is used for. So fun fact, clay is a type of soil. However, it's not the best type of soil to grow things inside of because it gets really hard, trapping the ability, trapping the, it creates a hard surface. So the minerals and the air and the water and all the elements aren't able to contact the plant or the seed to allow it to grow. And then we have my favorite type of soil. It's called loam, Loam, loam. And loam is a combination of all 3 types of soil and with the additional of the humus. You remember the humus is that dark matter that creates that foul stench of the soil. and it consists of the decayed plants, the fruits, the seeds, and the decaying animals, or mostly insects. So loam is a combination of all three of those: sand, silt, and clay, and the humus. And it's always the first choice of a gardener because it's the best soil to use to grow flowers, fruits, and vegetables. The reason being is because not only does it hold water, but it doesn't hold too much to where the plant will drown. It holds the perfect amount of water, and it also allows for water to drain, right? So another fun fact about loam, in addition to it being the best type of soil for planting, it's also good to build things as well when you combine it with straw. So you combine loam and straw together, and you can be able to build certain infrastructure or certain buildings. Super cool, super dope fun fact about the different types of soil, in my opinion. So we have the humus, right? Just a final breakdown of the humus. Humus is dark organic matter in the soil, which is made up of the dead and decaying plants. And when insects die, small insects die, their body is turned or converted into the humus. So plant waste, leaves, plant fruits, seeds, these things all become humus, and they create very fertile and nutritious soil. Super cool, super dope fun fact about that. So, a recap, we have the sand, which is not the best type of soil to grow things in because it has the large rocks and the water flows through it, and it does not hold or create a habitat to where the nutrients will be able to absorb inside the root of the plant. Then we have the clay, which is definitely not necessary when you're trying to plant something because it blocks off the airflow for the plant to be able to grow. Then we have the silt. And silt does retain water. However, it's mostly near rivers and waters, and it's not really the best to be able to grow in because it absorbs a lot of water and it doesn't truly allow for much drainage. And then we have our loam, which is the best type of soil. LOAM, loam is the best type of soil because not only does it hold water, but it drains the water as well. And it also creates a better habitat for the plant due to the fact that it holds together, but it doesn't block off the airflow like with the clay. So loam has all three types of soil in it, plus the humus, which is the dark matter, the decayed insects, the decayed plants, the decayed fruits and vegetables and seeds. All those things create humus. Now, next, after the break, we're going to talk about the different types of compost, things like that, and the comparison between humus and compost. Because although they are similar and people would use them interchangeably or one for the other, honestly, they are very different based on how they are produced. One is produced in this manner and another is produced in this manner. And we're going to dig deeper into that after we come back from this beautiful, necessary break. So, with that being said, brief recap: 3 types of soil, in addition to the loam, which is the best type of soil, and the humus. You have homework. Every Thursday, you have your homework that is your document answering your questions. I would advise that you start again from the top of this video. You take notes. You watch the short videos that I included inside with information, and you pause and you write down the definitions of each soil to be able to give me quality work. Thank you to everybody who has been submitting quality work. I need more of you to give me more. Give me more details, more substance, more show me that you know what you're talking about. That's what I need. All right? So thank you all for watching the video. Put any questions inside the chat box and I'll get to them immediately. And I look forward to reading your homework and all things plant related. Thank y'all and have a great day. Drink your water, get some sea moss, and get some sunshine. Peace.